Tennessee. From the east to the west, we are talking Cowboys everything. And you've just entered
the Cowboys Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboys Zone. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Cowboys Yard out of Johnson City, Tennessee. And good morning.
I'm sure you guys recognize that familiar face and voice. We got Lambo back with us this morning. I told everybody you were handling family duties on Wednesday. So a lot of people asked about you. So, glad to see you back.
Yeah, definitely. This new job transition's been rough. But glad to be back. And what's up, Jessica? See everybody's coming in quick. Starboy.
Yeah.
Jeff.
What's up, Jeff?
Jack, time for the Tank Bowl. Hello, William. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, guys. We got one like up here. We got about 25 viewers already. So let's keep hitting that like wherever you're watching it. Make sure you like the video. Also, make sure you share it. We got a game at noon today, Central Time. So we're going to try to get through this quickly so we don't miss any of the action of what Jack Meeker has described as the Tank Bowl between the Cowboys and the Bengals.
Pretty much. Hi, Rosie. Thank you. The Tank Bowl.
Yep. All right, Lambo. Do you know if the game is showing in your area or not?
Nope. It is not.
What game are you getting on Fox?
It is. Let me pull it up right now as we're speaking. I lost my train of thought who it was. But I'll probably end up having to watch it on one of these group pages where someone's streaming it. Have to watch from the cell phone.
I know Block Party ATL is showing it live from Zoom. So I know for a fact that's one you can go to and watch it. All right. Jeff has called it Garbage Bowl.
Congratulations, Shane. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's up, Colonel Bill? How you doing, man?
All right, guys, let's get into it. We're starting a few minutes late. We got a lot of stuff to cover. And first, we'll start off with the injury report, which has quite a bit of news today, more news than normal. So for starters, it looks like Cam Irving is officially put on IR again. And now that he's been put on IR for the second time, he is ineligible to return. So it looks like as long as Brandon Knight is healthy, he's going to be our left tackle for the rest of the year. And also, in terms of other injury news, it looks like Zach Martin's starting to come back a little bit. He may be available at some point if the team decides to bring him back. And other injury report news, Tyler B was officially taken off of the injury list. So as of now, what's up, Carrie? Hadn't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining. As of now, it looks like Tyler B is an active player on the roster. So before we go to the other active and inactives, Lambo, Tyler B, do you think they should give him his starting job back next week? Okay, without hesitation.
Yes, he's the future going forward. Looney actually wasn't that great recently. Also.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, definitely, he's the young guy. He's the future. Get all the valuable reps while we can. As much young guys as possible need to be seeing as much snaps as possible. And quick side note, I did double check. I got Titans, Jags, and Vikings, Bucks are my 2 games televised. So
okay,
I'll be streaming the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, get the young guy the snaps, man.
Yeah. Quest Elohim, I just saw your comment. I really appreciate that. And I'm just like you. I get tired of seeing the same kind of talking head shows where everybody's talking about tank. Should we tank? What are we going to do with Dak? We got the whole offseason to talk about that. Even though we look bad, we still got games to talk about. So we try to bring something fresh and new every week. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right.
I agreed with Jeff on this.
Yeah.
I really don't see the point of taking any risks or re-aggravating anything or bringing him back a little too soon.
I agree.
pretty much. I mean, unless something just completely rolls our way for once this year, and that division is sitting right there for the taking, week 17. Then I mean, you can decide, but
Okay. Oh, let me ask you this question then. For the first time, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think we'll have Tyler B, Joe Looney, and Connor McGovern all active at the same time. Because at some points we had Tyler B out and Joe Looney was in, and then Joe Looney was in and Tyler B was out. Now I think this is one of the first times we have all three of them active.
yeah, I know because like we started the year, McGovern was inactive.
Exactly.
Then Tyler, I think you are right.
Then Joe Looney went out. That's what Tyler B got the start, and then Tyler B went out. So if that's the case, we got three pretty good guys on the inside. If Steele, who's been playing pretty well, starts to struggle, do you think we finally see Connor Williams play some tackle? We don't have any more backups at tackle right now. So
it makes sense.
If Knight or Steele get hurt, where do we go?
I mean, maybe it could be a blessing in disguise, and we could finally see him play some tackle and see how he does.
Yeah.
It's hard to get optimistic about it,
yeah.
Though, because it seems like they've had so many opportunities to do that, and we've seen how horrible Terrence Steele is. I don't think anybody behind him is going to be much worse than he has been playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to think that they would actually let Connor Williams get some snaps over there, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it should happen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm with you, Jack. I want to see Tyler between the two corners and just a bunch of strength in the middle. And Jessica, I agree with you about let Randy play the whole game. This is one of the perfect games for him to play the whole game. So yeah. So now let's talk a little bit more about the defensive side. That's pretty much all the injury report news on defense. On offense. So on defense, a lot of stuff dropped over the past couple of days. First of all, Donovan Wilson is out again. Now we just got the news that Awuzie and Anthony Brown are also both out today for this game. They activated Savion Smith from the practice squad. They activated Rashard Robinson. And they also finally, after 3 years, activated Chris Westry from the practice squad. And also, Reggie Robinson is also active for this game. And right on time.
That's exactly what I was looking at as you was going through I was waiting for that.
William Coulter, first question. We thought we were going to see him last week with all of the terrible safety play we saw last week. He didn't get a snap. Lambo, do you think this week we finally see him at all?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the situation we're in this season, even Jerry's almost firing himself as GM. Like, it's gotten that bad. So it's that bad to where I feel like it's time. It's towards the end of the year. You're playing a really bad team, so this is a game to do it. I feel like it's got to be. I really hope to see some Chris Westry on the field too.
So the reports have already come out that Savion and Rashard Robinson are projected to be the starters along with Jordan Lewis. So with that being said, do you think that means we see Chris Westry at all, or do they just kind of bury him like they always try to?
I think they'll take the hot hand approach type situation.
Okay.
If someone's just completely getting destroyed out there on the outside or something, I think they won't take long to switch them out and see what they got in the next guy.
Yeah.
Because what do you got to lose at this point?
That's true.
Don't sit there and let the guy get burned for 4 quarters. I mean, just switch him out. See what the next guy's got.
And this game plays so well to Westry's strengths because if you look at the Bengals receivers, you got AJ Green, who's 6'4", 4'4" guy, just a vertical stretch guy, and then you got T. Higgins.
Is he?
Go ahead, Lambo. Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought I seen something about T. Higgins dealing with an injury.
I think he is dealing with an injury, but I think he's gonna play.
Okay.
But he's a 6'4", 4'3" guy. Even if he doesn't play, the next man up is Alden Tate, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's his name. He's a 6'4" vertical guy.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna. The only route runner they have is the kid they got inside, Tyler Boyd. He doesn't play outside at all.
Yeah.
But every guy on the outside is 6'4", 4'4", vertical guy. That's Chris Westry's strength. Even way more so than Savion Smith, because Savion Smith is lucky to run a 4.7.
Yeah. And you're right, Higgins. Yeah, Higgins is good to go, as expected. Was dealing with some hamstring, but looks to be okay. So yeah.
So hopefully this is the first game we finally get to see some Chris Westry snaps. I'm also really hoping we see Reggie Robinson today. To me, this would be the perfect game to bring him out to see what he can do.
Yeah. We might see him play some corner. Even.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we get desperate back there, somebody gets hurt or two guys get injured, we may not have a choice. I just don't think they're going to let him play corner unless they absolutely have to.
Last resort kind of situation.
Yep. Even with that, I've seen them play Darian Thompson at corner.
Yeah.
They really, and we still have Steven Parker too, I believe. So
yeah,
they got a few options to go through before they have to put him at corner, which I still don't know why they moved him to begin with. Well, all right, guys. I think that's pretty much all I got in terms of the injury report. The rest of the defensive linebackers are pretty healthy. Luke Gifford was suspended, kind of went under the radar for PEDs. I think he had a 1-game suspension, but he's back, but he hasn't played much anyway. And as usual, Bradley and I is still a healthy and active, so we won't see him this week.
That drives me crazy.
Me too. Also makes no sense. Shane, the weather conditions today in Cincinnati, I don't think there's any rain, but I think the temperature is going to be in the 30s. So it's going to be a cold game, but precipitation or wind should not be a factor. All right, guys, so let's go to our next segment, which is over-under, where we just give out some stats about the game, and we'll say, as well as you guys, let us know if you think we go over or under on those things. So let's hit over-under.
Over-under.
All right, Lambo, we'll start with the Bengals first. After last week's game, you know I got to start with this one first. So Joe Mixon is out for this game, and Giovanni Bernard and Samaje Perine are the running backs. Bernard has kind of been the bell cow, kind of a scat back guy, but he's been kind of carrying the load for them. He hasn't had over 60 yards the past 3 weeks, but when Dallas comes to town, everybody looks like a Pro Bowler. So over under Giovanni Bernard with 80 yards rushing. And guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Giovanni Bernard over under 80 yards rushing.
Man, I think
I try to make them close so you can think about them.
I will say this isn't the over-under you asked for, but I will say I think he will have over 80 total yards.
I agree with that.
Because I think he's going to have a decent amount of receiving yards.
I agree.
But I'm going to say under on the rushing.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to let Perine get a little bit of work in, and I think he would have a decent average per carry. So
William says way over. Everybody says over 80. I gotta agree with the group. I'm leaning over too. Not much, but our running defense has been horrible.
Yeah. I just had this weird feeling we're gonna play like a I don't know. I had this weird feeling all day that we're gonna come out here and just dominate the game, and they were gonna be out there just acting like we won a Super Bowl or something. Yeah. Even though it's the Bengals and our record's where it's at. I don't know. I just got this weird feeling we're gonna have a really good game.
Now I will say this: the Bengals, I think, have the same record we have, or maybe one win less. They haven't dealt with the injuries we dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Joe Burrow, but that was like 3 weeks ago, week 10. They lost their running back Joe Mixon. That's true, but they lost him like week 8, I believe. So for the majority of their season, their team has been 100%, and that's still the best that they can come up with. I believe I looked it up. They're right below us in rushing yards a game. They give up about maybe 15 yards less a game rushing. Um, they give up the second most sacks in the league, right behind Philly, right at 4 sacks a game. So they don't have a lot of great players. They don't have a lot of great statistics. I think I saw Jeff Kavanaugh. I watched his podcast. He tried to count how many star players they have. I think it kind of stopped for him at 3. So it's not like they have a star-studded team. So this could be a very winnable game for us, and we'll hit game predictions in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's hit this over/under again. Now, we just talked about our receiving group. I mean, our corner group, and we're basically playing 2 practice squad guys as starters, and their receivers are extremely talented.
Yes. Very
So
much.
AJ Green hasn't had a lot of good games, but you know he's going to have one soon, and this would be just as good as any to have it in. T. Higgins is just below Justin Jefferson and Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb in terms of rookie receivers.
Who's our quarterback right now? Is it Brandon Allen?
Brandon Allen is the quarterback. He's a backup guy, but he has some NFL experience. He started for Carolina for a few games while Cam was out. So he's a NFL quarterback. He's just not some guy off the street. So guys like that can get hot. You just never know. So over under 100 yards receiving for one of their receivers.
I'm going to say under on this as well.
Okay. Mr. Optimism today, Lambo.
Wait, hold on.
I think Tyler Boyd is going to eat our lunch.
Wait a second. I forgot Awuzie's out, which we just talked about.
Yeah. I'm looking for Tyler Boyd to destroy us. I hate to say it like that, but we struggle against fast, shifty slot guys, and Tyler Boyd is that. And he's probably, to me, he's the best slot in the league behind Tyler Lockett. And we saw what Tyler Lockett did to us. He's right there with him.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, like Harry said, he's due for a game. But I think this is going to be a Tyler Boyd game. I'm going over with him. William is really pessimistic about that run. He says they won't have to throw.
I'm gonna keep it under, which could be a bold freaking prediction in its own. I just have a weird feeling. I think the pressure is gonna. I think we're gonna create a lot of pressure, and I think it's gonna save that terrible secondary. We'll see.
That's one of my keys to victory. One thing I said about this offensive line, we talked about this on Wednesday. Their starting left tackle is a 6th-round draft pick. He hasn't looked any better than Terrence Steele has looked this year.
Yeah.
Their right tackle is Bobby Hart, and I know you know that name from Chicago. I didn't know he was still in the league, and he's their starting right tackle.
And you look at Brandon Allen, the Giants secondary don't really scare nobody. And he threw for 136 yards. He barely threw for over 100 yards total against that secondary. The week after, he threw for 153 yards. The guy's barely averaging over 100 yards passing. So unless he's throwing to one guy the entire game,
which I could see that happening with Tyler Boyd.
That could happen, if he's just destroying our secondary. It's true.
Yeah, Jack Meeker, Joe Burrow is out for the season.
He's out of there.
Yep.
Man, I almost bought tickets to this game at the beginning of the season.
I did too.
Because it was the closest game to me.
Me too. It's closer than Dallas to me.
Yeah.
Like right at 8 hours.
Yeah, and mine to me it's 6 hours north.
And I have one friend that's a Bengals fan, so I was gonna see if I can get a group up since he's never seen his team play. But
yeah,
after about week 3, I was like, nah, I saved my money this year.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So you brought up Brandon Allen and his passing yardage. So my next over under was with the advantages his receivers have over under 180 yards passing for Brandon Allen. You just said he hasn't had more than 100 yards all season or something. What was that stat?
Uh, he had it was like 130 something yards and then 150 something yards in his 2 games this season.
All right. So over under 180 passing for Brandon Allen today.
I will say that he's gonna have his most passing yards of the season against us, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be outlandish, like nothing wild, but he'll have a little over 200.
I'm leaning over as well. Like, I hate to keep emphasizing this, but I think Tyler Boyd gets about 130 today, easily. I'm looking for him to explode.
That's probably the fantasy favorite too.
Yeah,
Ain't it?
it is. Dennis Rivera, thank you for joining us. Mendoza, thank you for hopping in. We're at 11:26, so we're still making good time. We'll still get out of here before 12, so we all can go and find our links and watch this game.
Being that nobody wants to air it.
Right. All right. So last over under related to the Bengals. So we normally give up about 3 sacks a game. Their leading sacker is Carl Lawson, 4.5 sacks. I don't think any of their D tackles have a sack all year, and their other defensive end, Sam Hubbard, only has a sack and a half. So over under 2 sacks given up by our offense.
I'm gonna go push on this one.
Okay.
And say right at.
All right. I'm actually going under on this one. I think we probably give up. We only gave up 1 sack against Baltimore last week.
Yeah. I think I called under on that too, which like seemed crazy at the time.
Yep.
But hey, they surprised us.
Yeah, Cincinnati doesn't blitz a lot. Even though they don't have a good pass rush, they still try to play with their 4.
Not fair.
Brandon Knight has looked bad the past 2 weeks. I really think he was forced into playing because Cam Irvin went out and he's still kind of injured. So I'm hoping 2 weeks. This will be his 3rd week back. I'm hoping he's a little bit more healthy. Maybe he won't get with those pressures he has. And a good point, Kerry Teagle. I didn't think about the revenge game factor. Christian Covington is the starter there over Geno Atkins. So you always got to watch for a guy playing against his old team like Christian Covington. So yeah, I think they get us about a sack and a half. I'm leaning under on 2. All right, so now let's talk about the Dallas side, and of course we always got to start with this one. I won't go Zeke on 100 yards, but Cincinnati gives up the 4th most rushing yards, right behind us, at about 170 yards a game rushing. Over under our running backs getting 125 total. It's a tough one.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be just under.
Okay.
Just under. Like it's gonna be like around the 117 total range between Zeke and Pollard.
Okay. You know what? I'm leaning over. I think the offensive line is finally starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm as Terrence Steele plays better. So I think they're gonna get back to 4.5, 5 yards rushing today between Zeke and Pollard. So I'm looking for this to be a pretty good running game for us. I'm with William. I think we go over on that one.
I'm actually thinking that Andy's gonna have a big day against his former team.
Okay, and with that being said, we'll go to our next over-under. We got the revenge game factor with Andy Dalton playing against his old team of, I think, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mendoza, you're right. Zeke is playing hurt. So that does have to be factored in. That's why I didn't do Zeke 100. I just said total rushing game.
And TP gets extra snaps, he might come in there and blow it up.
Exactly, because he's still averaging, 6 yards a rush this year?
He's in that hungry stage.
Yeah. He averaged 7 yards a rush last year, right?
Yeah, 6.3, I think.
I think he's at
somewhere
6 this year, too.
Or yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right, so we got the revenge factor with Andy Dalton. Over under Andy Dalton 225 yards passing.
I'm going over today.
Okay. All right.
I think he'll get close to 3.
Wow.
Somewhere.
Bold prediction. I'm with you. I'm the same way. I think we match up well against them, and with like you guys are saying, Pollard will probably play a little bit more. There's more throws out of the backfield, as well as the matchups we have at receiver and tight end. I think he goes over as well. I said this on Wednesday. This game will let us know how supportive the players are of Andy Dalton. Because to me, even back to his injury, they don't look like they really just play for Dalton like you saw with Garrett Gilbert. If they don't come out with a little bit of extra juice when their quarterback's playing the old team, that lets you know he doesn't have the locker room.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Yeah. So that's something to definitely look out for. Yeah, that's a good question too, Mendoza.
Yeah, as soon as I seen that, I was thinking I would like to see some of him because I can't remember which game it was this year, but I think he came in for like 2 carries, and they both looked really explosive.
Yeah, he's an explosive runner. He just had a lot of injuries in college.
So I'd like to see that.
He was actually one of the top SEC rushers, but he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Good question, William. I think it'll be close.
Yeah, be really close.
I'm looking for Dalton to get about 260. I'm looking for the running game about 130. So right there. Yeah. All right. So we talked about the Bengals receivers. Let's talk about our receivers because the Bengals corners aren't really that good. William Jackson, former first round pick.
Yeah.
Hasn't really lived up to the hype. They got Mackenzie Alexander, former Clemson guy. He's kind of playing the slot. He's always been kind of underwhelming to me, even through college. And then the third guy, I can't even think of his name right now, but he's no household name. So I think our receivers really have an advantage today against them. And again, it's Andy Dalton in a revenge game, so I expect the receivers to have a little bit more juice, just playing for their guy. So over under 80 yards for one of our receivers.
I think CD will go over 80.
Okay.
And I think that CD will finally get a call his way for probably the first time this year because it has been ridiculous how many times teams have got away with holding him or pass interference on him.
I'm looking for Cooper to have a good game today because I think William Jackson does a lot of shadowing, but he's not a good enough corner to be a shadow guy, and I think Cooper's just gonna destroy him.
Oh yeah.
So I'm with you, Jeff. I think this is gonna be a Coop game. All right, so let's go to the defensive side of the ball now, and I mentioned before that the Bengals give up the second most sacks per game at 4 sacks, just below the Philadelphia Eagles. Offensive line, especially at tackles, is not very strong. Hopefully we see more Randy Gregory today. I actually think this should be a good game for Gallimore because their guards aren't that good to me. So over under 2.5 sacks for our defense.
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
I'm going to go over.
Who do you think the sacks come from?
Gallimore's playing, right?
Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah. Gallimore is going to get 1. And Gregory is going to get 2.
Okay.
And give me a half sack for D-Law.
Okay. Okay, for me, I think Gregory gets 1. I think D-Law gets a sack and a half this game. And I feel like we're going to do some type of secondary slot blitz or safety blitz, and we get a sack from the secondary. So I'm looking for about 3.5 sacks for us today. And
Exactly where I'm at, 3.5.
Alden Smith has been kind of. I didn't even think about Alden Smith.
I
I'm
know.
giving him
He's
4.
been off my radar as the
Mine
past
too.
couple weeks, man.
So I'm looking for him to maybe get a half a sack as well. So I 3.5, 4 sacks. I think this is a good game for it. But I think Tank leads the way with a sack and a half, just because Bobby Hart is probably one of the worst starting tackles I've ever seen, and I don't think they can protect him on that right side playing against Tank.
Yep.
All right, so we're at 11:35. Looks like we're gonna get out of here before 12, so you guys can get a chance to go find the game if you don't have it already. I don't want to
It
have
might take
people leave and rush.
take you some research.
Yeah. All right, so we're 11:35. So let's move on, Lambo. Before we get out of here, we're gonna do our keys to victory. So before we give our game predictions, we'll each give 2 or 3 things we think need to happen for us to win this game. So we'll move on to keys to victory.
Keys to victory.
All right. You want me to go first? Because I know you probably hadn't had a chance to think about it.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. So yeah, just looking at the comments. So if you guys have any keys to victory, be sure to put them in the comments. We'll put them on the screen. So for me, I got 4 major keys for this game. The first one is the most important one. I think we'll see this from the first snap. They got to play for Dalton. Like, this is your quarterback. This is supposed to be the leader of your team. He's playing against his old team. You got to make him look good. So everybody's kind of putting the comments in the thing about playing with passion, which is playing for Dalton. Protect Andy, definitely. All that, to me, is under playing for Dalton. Secondly, we got to get pressure on the quarterback. They're playing against a third-string quarterback. Their tackles are horrible. Our defensive line is way more talented than their offensive line. We need to finally take advantage of that and try to get that quarterback on the ground. I've been talking about Tyler Boyd all show. We can't let a receiver take over the game because that's the only advantages they have against us right now. We got to make sure we don't let one guy just dominate, just running wide open consistently. So we got to make sure we keep them contained. Somebody's going to have their moments, like Mendoza said. I think he said every receiver is going to have a moment during this game. I agree, but we just can't let one guy dominate. My last one, we got to win the rushing battle. Both of our run defenses are horrible on both sides. We just got to be better than them. Our running backs are better, so let's show that we're better. All right, Lambo, what you got? Keys to victory. I know we're going to overlap, but
Yeah, pretty much. Really win the turnover battle.
yeah.
So we can't be going negative in turnovers against them. We got to limit the turnovers, and that's going to be key. We've had a lot of unnecessary turnovers this season. Something that's going to be extremely important, possibly the most important to me, is creating chaos on the defensive line. Like we said, with the secondary being as beat up as they are right now, all the unproven guys back there. It's a dangerous situation for us with the talent that they have on the outside at receiver. So we're going to need a chaotic pass rush that is just going to give Brandon Allen a fit, man. Make him uncomfortable. Don't let him have time to go through his reads.
Yeah.
Make him make reactions a little too quickly. It's going to lead to possibly an interception or two, we could hope. But it's really all going to start with the D-line if our defense is going to play well today. So that's important, and the turnover battle is really important.
Yeah.
And really we need to have good starting field position, man.
Yeah, definitely.
We need to have good starting field position, which kind of leads to good special teams play. Yes, Jeff. So that's mine.
Okay. So yeah, but this is definitely a winnable game for us today. We'll open the phone lines for a minute, see if anybody wants to call in and chat with us. If I can find the number. All right, so I'm about to open these phone lines up. So if anybody wants to call in and let us know your keys. Let us know what you think about the game. We're about to move to bowl prediction and game prediction now. So if anybody
Yeah,
wants to
Will.
call in,
No doubt.
no Q plays, right? We shouldn't have to use that crap today against a team like this.
Right.
All right, so guys, now we'll move on to game predictions. And Lambo, since you weren't here on Wednesday, we'll start with you first. So let's hit these game predictions up.
Game prediction.
All right, so Lambo, what's your game prediction for this week?
I think Andy throws over 280 yards with 3 touchdowns and no turnovers.
Oh, game prediction, not bowl prediction.
Oh, you're right. That was my bold prediction.
Well, now that I know yours, I have to change mine. But go ahead and do the game prediction.
My bad. My game prediction is 31-17 Cowboys.
Okay. Mine was 33-27. I'm probably going to take that down to 33-24.
Okay.
I just feel like we're going to I think we're going to do a little bit better against the offense, just thinking about our defensive line against their offensive line.
That's mine, Shane.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane, I didn't get yours from Wednesday, so thank you. And anybody who wasn't here on Wednesday, if you want to give me a game prediction, be sure to put it in the comments. I know I got Mendoza, Jack, Bobby, William, Lamar, Rosie. I got all yours. And I think we got a call on the line. Caller, you on the air?
What's up, guys? This is Jeff.
Oh, what's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff?
What's up? Welcome back, Lambo.
Thanks, man.
All right, so Jeff, your game prediction on Wednesday was 34-20. You sticking with that one?
I'm gonna drop theirs. I'm gonna say 34-14.
Okay.
I don't think they're scoring more than 2 touchdowns.
Okay. All right, so guys, if you have any, okay, Mendoza, you still stick with 27-20. I got you down from Wednesday. Anybody else, if they want to change their game prediction or if they want to add it, let me know. Steven Arthur, I missed you coming in earlier, so thank you for joining us. Dennis Rivera, I saw you making some great comments earlier, so make sure you let me get yours. I think that's pretty much all the new people who weren't here on Wednesday. Starboy, you weren't here Wednesday, so if you're still here, let me get your game prediction. Colonel Bill, Shane, change yours to 31-14. All right, Jeff, so I saw you've been kind of in the comments. I think you said they're going to go over with the receivers. Which receiver do you fear today?
As far as
The Bengals.
For
Which
the
one do you
Bengals?
think is going to kind of be the guy we got to watch with our corners being out?
Tyler Boyd, no doubt.
Okay.
I feel like T. Higgins may, but Tyler Boyd is the leader of their team. AJ Green may sneak a red zone touchdown in, but I believe Tyler Boyd, like you said, is going to go up and down the field.
Okay.
May not score a lot, but he's definitely going to get a lot of yards.
All right. So before we move to our bold predictions, Jeff, let me get what are 3 keys to us winning this game today since you predict us to win?
Well, I put in the comment that they need to play with passion. I
Mhm.
feel like our team the whole year is like we don't play with that passion to win. We let a player or two get us down, and you can just look at the sideline and tell. We don't have that fiery leader guy that Dan used to always get criticized for being.
Mhm.
They need to play with passion and realize that one play can change the game, but then you flip it. One play can change the game in your favor as well. One mistake is not the end of the world, so they need to play with passion. I feel like special teams, like I said, no cute plays, just play special teams, straight special teams. Punt the ball, no fake punts, try to get good yardage on kick returns. And as you said, our defense should dominate this offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Besides receivers,
Yeah.
I'm meaning our front seven versus their line. So set the tone for the game, control the line of scrimmage, and you win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Definitely.
point.
Completely agree. Shane agrees.
All right. All right, guys. So we're at 11:45. So we're gonna stay about another 5 minutes or so. Give you guys time to find the game if you don't have it showing on your TV. And so we'll go to our last segment of the day, and that will be our bold predictions. We had quite a few people with bold predictions on Wednesday, so we'll go through the caller and myself and Lambo, and then we'll have you guys get in the comments and let us know your bold predictions as well.
Bold predictions.
All right, so it's funny. I just looked down at my sheet from Wednesday, Lambo,
Mm-hmm.
and you said Dalton 3 touchdowns and how many yards passing?
Over 280.
Okay, that was actually my bold prediction from Wednesday.
Like it exactly?
Exactly, yeah, 280 passing and 3 touchdowns.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
I swear I did not watch the show from Wednesday. I have yet to had time to go back and watch it. So that is insane.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So I'm gonna change mine now that I think about it because I didn't even think about the
Wow.
Alden Smith. I'm gonna change mine to the defense gets 5 sacks. I'm going up from 4 to 5.
I could see that happening.
All right, Jeff. Your bold prediction from Wednesday was Pollard gets a kick return for a touchdown. You sticking with that one, or you want to change it?
I still like that one, but I want to change it and do another one.
Okay.
All right, it's easy to pick Andy Dalton for this game because there's a revenge factor involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say we see a 200-yard game from Coop.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Ooh, one of them blow-up games.
Yeah, there you go, man. But one of those blow-up games you say he have. I believe he had one today.
Okay. All right, I got Shane down 350-yard field goals. I mean, he may get opportunities for him, that's for sure. All right, guys, let's get back in those comments again. Let us get your bold predictions for today's game. We're at 11:47, so we got about 3 or 4 more minutes to go. Let us know what you think is going to happen that's going to really change the course of this game in terms of a player. And while I wait for those, we're at 11:47. I think we'll go ahead and move on to our fantasy favorites. And you guys just keep giving us those bold predictions, and I'll put them in the comments. All right. William, your bold prediction was a defensive touchdown. That's what you said on Wednesday. All right, so we'll move on to our fantasy favorites, and you guys keep putting those bold predictions in there for me to write them. Jack Meeker. Jack, I don't have your bold prediction from Wednesday, so let me know what your bold prediction is. All right, so let's move on to fantasy favorites, and we'll get out of here a few minutes before 12.
Fantasy favorites.
All right, so Jeff, since you're the caller, do you have a fantasy favorite in this game and outside this game you want to hit up?
Yeah. What y'all got my fantasy?
Yeah, in this game, I'm gonna add to my bold prediction. I think Coop also gets a touchdown as a fantasy favorite for this game.
Okay, so I'm assuming Coop is your fantasy favorite for this game.
For this game, yeah.
Okay. So who's your fantasy favorite just around the league then?
I gotta go with Aaron Jones.
Okay.
Not only because he's on my fantasy team, but last week he finally had one of those breakaway runs, and they're playing the Detroit Lions with arguably a worse run defense than us, and I think he unleashes today.
Okay. That's a good one. I see a lot of people got CD as their fantasy favorite. One of our receivers I think is going to go off could be just as likely CD. Okay. CD with 120 and a TD. I got you, Jack.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying is he's my fantasy favorite too. Today, CD. So I hope that's true. Career day.
Yeah. I know.
Lambo got a man crush on CD.
Yeah, he's got to perform. I bought 2 of his jerseys already.
Lambo, you want to go next? You want me to go? I pretty much got mine.
You can go.
All right. I normally go with Dallas players, but I just feel like Tyler Boyd's just gonna have a monster slot game today. I feel like 7 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown is not impossible to see. He's just a great slot guy. I have a lot of respect for him as a player. Outside of this game, I'm looking at the dumpster fire in the NFC East over there in Philly versus the Saints. They're falling apart at the seams, and they give up the most rushing yards per attempt to quarterbacks than any team in the league. And today, Taysom Hill comes to town, who's basically a running back at quarterback. So I'm expecting Taysom Hill to probably hit about 80 yards rushing, probably throw for 2 touchdowns, run for 1 or 2. I think this is probably going to be his last game starting because the Saints play the Chiefs next week, and they may want to just kind of put their stamp on the league and let Breeze play that game, or they couldn't. But if this is his last game, I think the Eagles are the perfect game for him to go out on a bang with. So I'm looking for Taysom to just blow it up today.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a little bit too late for this one, Mendoza.
This game, I like CD Lamb to have a huge game. And outside of this game, I like Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
He's kind of been underutilized from they've been taking too many touches away from him this year. He rarely gets to 15 touches in a game. But last game, for example, he had 15 carries, over 130 yards, 8 point something per carry or something crazy like that, or near it. Philip Lindsay still got 14 touches with 1.9 a carry, only 26 yards. But I think they're going to look back at that and be like, okay, this guy got 14 carries, averaged a yard a carry. This guy got 15 carries, averaged 8 yards a carry. I just think they're going to give Gordon a heavier workload than they have in previous weeks.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue off that great week he had last week and have a big game this week. So I like Melvin Gordon this week.
Okay. Yeah, Mendoza, I like Mark Andrews too, coming back. The Steelers, their one weakness is the tight end, just because of how they play that zone blitz. So he can definitely come and make some noise. I like William Coulters with Swift. He didn't play last week. Should be a good game with the Lions. They're going to have to score some points. And Shane, I'm with you. That's why I picked 33 points. I feel like we're going to kick about 4 field goals. I think we're going to get about three touchdowns and then about 4 field goals.
Hopefully those field goals go in.
Yeah, I think they go in too. I feel like they score every drive almost. And I feel like that's seven scoring possessions. But I still don't trust this team to put a lot of touchdowns on the board. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. All right, Jeff, before we go, got any closing words for us? Anything you want to talk about? Questions, comments?
No, I just hope to see a W. This will probably be our last W for the year. So looking forward to our 4-12, maybe 5-11 finish, and we can start talking about the draft.
Yep.
Hopefully, we'll still get that top 5 pick. I'm still hoping for a tackle. If not, a game-changing DB. So
we know Tyron just turned 30.
It'll be nice to enjoy a win today.
Yeah.
And Tyron just turned 30, man, and that back continues to be a consistent issue.
I've been telling Marcus for years that we got to do something about Tyron Smith.
Yep.
I mean, he's great, when he plays, but he's been averaging 5-6 games hurt every year for the last 3 or 4 years, and our offensive line totally changes when he go out. I mean,
I think
it's a noticeable void. So we need to get somebody young in there to, be a plug and play.
Yeah, I think Marcus will like that big dude from Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Love him.
Oh, yeah.
Love him.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Sewell too.
Special,
If not, let's get a game-changing DB.
special player. He's the perfect combination of strength and athleticism and smarts at tackle.
Yeah.
He could really be a Pro Bowl guard as easily as he could be an All-Pro tackle. You don't see it often.
What I hope doesn't happen is that we don't make the playoffs, but we also win these next two games on top of not winning or getting in the playoffs. That would bum me out because we just knock ourselves on up the draft board or down the draft board.
Yeah.
But
True.
we'll see.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit of draft talk. When I look at the players as they are, in a normal year, I can normally count about 15 to 20 guys where I say, okay, this guy is a first-round pick. He's the best player at his position.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at this year's draft, I'm having
Just
a
a
hard
few.
time going past like 8 to 10. And that's only because it's so many corners. I count about 2 or 3 corners as first round guys. And other than that, no D tackles, no wide receivers. Well, one wide receiver, no D tackles, no running backs, no interior linemen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if we slip to pick 8 through 10, it's possible the guy there is not really worth the value of that high of a pick.
He's either going to be not worth a first round pick, or the position he plays is not the position you want to take first round, like the tight end.
Yeah, it would be a Pitts pick.
Pitts is awesome, but do you want to take him at 8?
Guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we fall within that range, do you think would you think A, trade down, or B, is there any possibility that they trade up to try to take a person they really want within the top 5?
Man, that's a good question because I think what the problem is, I think if there's not anybody there that they want to take there, obviously they're going to try to trade back, but nobody's going to want to trade up.
Yep.
If there's no one valuable enough for us to even want to take at that spot, unless there happens to be a quarterback that someone's hot on.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to say that. Exactly. Word.
If we don't like it, it's a good chance nobody else wants to trade up for it.
If we pick past 5, I think we're stuck with whatever pick we're at. That's just my opinion.
And at that point, I'm taking best player available and possibly reaching on the best tight end in the draft.
So hold on. What if the best player available is Jamar Chase? Sorry, Marcus.
Go ahead.
Hey, then you can make that Gallup trade.
Jamar Chase.
You can make that Gallup trade and toss Chase in there to put with CD for the next 4 or 5 years. Shoot.
All right.
That could be the situation.
All right, guys. We're at 11:57. This can go another hour.
That'll be hashtag Team 50 Burger from Jeff Kavanaugh if that happens.
All right, Jeff. We got to let you go so we can get out of here. I appreciate you calling in and look forward to hearing from you in the future.
All right, I'll holler at y'all.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
See you, man.
All right.
All right, Lambo. So before we go, be sure to hit up with their social media so they know where to find you at.
Yeah, guys, please hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon. I'm at Cowboys Y'all, and on Instagram, I'm Cowboys Y'all 88. Most of all, please subscribe on YouTube and hit the little bell. It helps out greatly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
All right, guys. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Bluff City Cowboys. You can find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. And you can also find me on YouTube at Bluff City Cowboys. Make sure you guys go find me, even if you subscribe to Lambo. Go hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. We got a lot of great stuff coming up as we enter the end of the season. At some point, we're going to go back to Thursday night, so we hope you guys follow us as we make that transition. And we're going to have a lot of draft talk. We're going to have even more fan engagement than we have right now. So, guys, make sure you stick with us because you guys are the driving force behind the show. Lambo, any last words before we get out of here?
Nope. We'll see you guys Wednesday to discuss this big W, like Rosie said.
All right. So, join us this Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, for a Victory Wednesday as we talk about the Cowboys beating the Bengals and we look ahead to next week's game. Thank you guys for joining, and let's go Cowboys.